How's everyone doing? I got a Blu-ray and DVD update with 17 pickups right here. And if you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them. I got this from a seller who I've purchased on here a bunch before. I've mentioned them. All 17 of these titles total 50 bucks, so a little less than $3 a pop. I think it's like probably like $2.90 or something like that. So that is pretty awesome, including some 4K Ultra HD titles right there, some 4K Nolan titles. There's a few things in here that I haven't seen, so definitely let me know what your favorite pickup from this lot is as well. And again, I'm pretty sure that the person selling it is a reviewer themselves, or either they know somebody that's a reviewer, because I think some of these, I think maybe a couple of these might not be out yet. I'm not 100% sure. But I know, like, for the first three are Mill Creek, or first four are Mill Creek titles. And it's funny because I've worked with Mill Creek in the past, and I got a email solicit for review copies for February, but I didn't get the one for January. So actually, I want to contact them because I know the first three right here are from the January review line. But first up on Blu-rays, the 35th anniversary of The Hunter from the Future. I've never seen this one before. Kind of looks like a Beastmaster, kind of Tarzan in the, I guess, prehistoric time. It has Reb Brown, who was in the TV show Captain America back in the day. I think it was like 79, 80, around there. So yeah, he's just kicking butt and beating crazy monster. I guess it's like a mixture of futuristic and prehistoric, because it says The Hunter from the Future. It says he is from a future world trapped in prehistoric times, searching for his past. So that is interesting. But kind of like a He-Man-esque, Beastmaster, all that kind of stuff. So there you go. Looks interesting. Looking forward to checking that one out. Next up is SWAT. I remember seeing this when it came out. Pretty good casting. You've got Samuel L. Jackson, Colin Farrell, Michelle Rodriguez, LL Cool J, Jeremy Renner, a bunch of recognizable people. They're, I guess, a bunch of SWAT people, and they're training some rookies and stuff, including, I guess, Michelle Rodriguez and LL Cool J are two of the rookies. And there is a drug kingpin offering $100 million to anybody that can set him free. And then there's, kind of some corruption issues going on there too. There's Jeremy Renner. I remember this being pretty decent. I remember this was like right around the time I think Recruit came out too. Colin Farrell was kind of blowing up during that time. So looking forward to revisiting that one. Next up is Street Sharks. This is the complete series, all 40 episodes. Comes with, I guess, a digital copy too. I do remember this when I was a kid. I think this was, I think they were like, kind of like reminiscent of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but nowhere near as good, but the kind of same style, except I think there were like 4 teenagers who were mutated into sharks, and they have to stop this evil, like, doctor guy. I think he might have had an eye patch. I vaguely remember it. I don't know if they were on roller skates or something weird too, but it was like it was entertaining. It was sharks. I don't know if they had like little action figures or something too. But yeah, I remember it was like, I can't remember what it was. They'll kick your fins or something like that from the intro. They'll take a bite out of you. But I remember it being entertaining. I'm looking forward to revisiting that too. So that is pretty cool. Next up is Shakes the Clown. I think this is an older Mill Creek title. Pretty sure Robin Williams was in here. Bobcat Goldthwait directs it. He wrote and directed. He's known for the comedian who does those voices. He was in Police Academy. I remember him a lot from Scrooge with Bill Murray. And he also has Julie Brown. But Bobcat Goldthwait's a good director. He's done a lot of stand-up comedy specials, TV show. He worked on Chappelle's Show. A bunch of great stuff, but he also directed World's Greatest Dad with Robin Williams, and God Bless America, which is one that I really enjoyed. Probably one of my favorites of the year that it came out. But I haven't seen this one. I think he's just like a drunk clown who gets framed for murder. But it looks pretty crazy and wacky. So yeah, I like Bobcat Goldthwait, though. I think he's very talented. Next up is Doc Hollywood from the Warner Archive Collection. I used to love this one as a kid, kind of like a fish out of water. He's a doctor who gets, I guess, like stuck in this, his car gets crashed, and he's like a Beverly Hills kind of, is he a plastic surgeon? I think he is, but yeah, he gets stuck in this like backwoods town, and he falls for a girl, and it's formulaic but entertaining. Woody Harrelson's in there too. But it's funny, I have this on DVD, so if anyone wants to trade for the DVD, let me know. Next up is Battle Cry. This is an older one. I'm trying to see what year this is from. I don't see it on here, but I guess it's just a, I think Marines, and they're just, I don't know, I guess their friendship during wartime, World War II, and just what they're dealing with. Oh, they're at a boot camp in New Zealand as a base of operations, so that's pretty cool. But I can't see what year this was from. No, 1955. There you go, 1955. And it stars Van Heflin, who is in a bunch of good films back in the couple of westerns. Shane, and then I think he was also in, I can't remember, the 310 to Yuma, the original 310 to Yuma. He was in a bunch of his stuff too, but so that looks interesting. It looks like there's some romance going on there too. I'm definitely intrigued to check that one out. Next up is The Houses That October Built 2. I hated this movie. Unwatchable. I loved the concept for the first one, but I didn't like the ending to it at all. But this one right here, the whole premise of it ruins the first movie. It's basically like they're alive, and that kills the way that the first one ended. And they're basically going back, doing the same exact thing from the first one. They're just trying to find the scariest haunted houses and stuff. The only thing I could say would be mildly entertaining about this one is Kobayashi, the hot dog eating champion, is in here randomly. And the fact that they visit real haunts, like the Eastern State Penitentiary's in here, a few other ones. So it's kind of cool to see that. But it's like almost like a travel guide. Nothing scary really happens. The ending is garbage. The way that it plays out ruins the franchise. Somebody left me a comment, because I think I was talking about this already before when I did like a review for this, that they plan to do a trilogy of it. I mean, I don't know how you could... I mean, I guess from the first one, I never thought there would really be a sequel. What they should have done is made a whole new cast searching for the haunted house from the first one, instead of doing the same cast doing the same thing, looking for the next scariest thing. Like, why did they not look for the same... Well, I mean, I guess it's explained, but it's just garbage. It's unwatchable. The whole premise ruins the first movie. So many people love the first movie. Again, I love the concept of it, and I loved a lot of it, except for the ending. But yeah, this one just... And they didn't utilize the creepy doll enough, which is like all over the marketing. They used it, I feel like, a little bit more here, but still not much. I don't know. This movie just pissed me the heck off. It's just... Next up are 4 4K Ultra HD titles from Christopher Nolan. Inception. And then we've got the Dark Knight trilogy right here. Let me know what your favorite Christopher Nolan movie is. For me, it's The Prestige, which I don't have yet, and I want to get that one. But I think a lot of people were going crazy because the Dark Knight trilogy was sold out at a lot of their stores, like Best Buys and stuff like that. And even, I think Amazon was out of stock briefly too. But I think everything's back in stock now. And I heard people complain about the packaging for the actual box set. I haven't seen it myself. I don't know if anybody's done an unboxing on here yet. I haven't seen the unboxings of it. But personally, I like the individual releases like this person. So, I mean, that's just, you know, I love the artwork choices too. I think that's awesome. So, there you go. Looking forward to popping all of these in on, the only one that I saw from Nolan from 4K was Dunkirk, which to me was like reference quality. It was amazing. But I expect Inception's going to be phenomenal too, just the way that it was shot. Seems like something that would really work, especially for HDR. I would love to see that. That whole world, I think it's amazing. I think they're doing a sequel to it. I think they kind of should. I think of all the different movies that are set up and they do sequels, so many of them are unnecessary sequels and just clear cash grabs. But Inception, I think, deserved it. Next up is the DVD for Brawl in Cell Block 99. I did enjoy this movie. I think it was one of the better, darker roles of Vince Vaughn. You know, he does a lot of comedic roles, but he was really good in Into the Wild, Hacksaw Ridge. Yeah, Don Johnson's in here. Was it Jennifer Carpenter? Yeah, Jennifer Carpenter. A few other recognizable people, but yeah, I heard a lot of people saying it was one of the best movies of the year. I think it was a good movie. I just don't know if I would put it in the best, you know, top 10 of the year. Some people are saying top 5. I don't know. I mean, again, it shows that Vince Vaughn can go back to playing these dark, gritty roles. You know, I think he did a good job. It was still a little bit unconvincing in certain scenes for me. I liked it better when he was kind of like just stoic and just, but when he was like kicking butt, breaking arms and stuff like that, it was like way too easy. It was like a chicken wing. I was like, come on now. And I mean, he looked like he had like a dad bod. I mean, you know, I'm not in the greatest shape myself, but I mean, he didn't look like he was ripped and, you know, all that. I mean, and it's funny, I remember they were doing a lot of promotion. They were talking about this ex-boxer. In the movie, they barely mentioned that. It was like one brief scene about that. But it's a dark, gritty movie. I did enjoy it. I'd probably put it like, I haven't seen a ton of movies this year that really blew me away, so I'd probably put it like the top 20 for me. But I don't know, I feel like in the past few years it wouldn't make like my top 40, so I don't know, I still did enjoy it. It was a dark, gritty movie. I'd recommend checking it out. Again, I love dark, gritty, depressing kind of movies, and I did like Vince Vaughn's performance in here. I'd say it's still one of his better performances of his career. You know, again, I think I liked a lot of the comedic ones. This is just a darker one. I think when people say that, they're not really taking into consideration that comedic roles are still, you know, have value. But anyways, I enjoyed the movie. I'd recommend it. That was a DVD version. And then Mayhem, which is with Glenn from The Walking Dead, who was my favorite character on the show. And The Walking Dead is just, man, for the longest time I felt like there were so many filler episodes, so much dramatic pacing, everything was drawn out. And then they just, the way that this past mid-season finale ended, I was like, I don't know, I'm just about ready to check out of that show after that. They're essentially killed off everybody that I cared about now. But yeah, Stephen Yeun, Samara Weaving. I don't know if she's related to Hugo Weaving or not. I think this guy was, he was in The Walking Dead too, briefly. But yeah, there's a few other recognizable people in here. But I thought this was a lot of fun. It kind of reminds me of Belko Experiment. Basically, Stephen Yeun's trying to get his job back, and there's like this virus where it makes your eyes like red, and you become like violent, and you know all your inhibitions out the window. And I think he worked at kind of like a legal firm, and he was the one that kind of helped pass this law. Like somebody basically got off from killing somebody because of the virus. So yeah, he's just basically trying to get his job and killing people and kicking butt, and she has a stake in it as well. So yeah, he has to get to the top floor by the end of the time that the virus runs its course, essentially. So yeah, it's entertaining. I feel like it was a missed opportunity with one aspect in particular. The big boss guy right there, he's been in a bunch of stuff, great character actor. He decides to put basically a hit out on him. And I don't know what the one other boss lady's like, oh, up it to like $1 million or something. And he puts it through, they show him putting it through, and then nothing happens. Nobody comes for him, like for the hit, the money. I'm like, what? How are you just gonna do that and then just leave that out? Like that would have been a huge plot point. But it's still very palpable, fast-paced horror action, very entertaining, and Samara Weaving is stunning. She kind of reminds me a bit of Margot Robbie a little bit. But yeah, I would definitely recommend Mayhem. The Spook Who Sat by the Door. I don't know a ton about this movie, but I know it's on the list of the, yeah, right here on the back it even says, one of the 50 most influential black films. So yeah, I guess this guy pretends to, it's a classic film. I think he's basically, he gets into the CIA. I don't know if he's kind of giving the CIA information on the black community or something like that, but he gets CIA training and then he kind of tries to start a revolution. It's released in '73, but they say it still holds up, and it was suppressed by the government, and it was driven underground and available only on bootleg video. This controversial political thriller was nearly lost, so it's back, and it's got a bunch of special features and stuff in here. Actually, not a ton, just an introduction from USA Today columnist, a one-on-one with the writer, Robert Townsend commentary, and then some trailers and commercial spots. But looking forward to checking this one out. I don't know if this was remade or not. I think it might have been, but yeah, heard great things about this one. I guess a very important film of our times, of America's times. Next is The Stand, which I did see this movie forever ago. You know what's so funny? Jamie Kennedy's in here. There he is right there. Kind of a spoiler of what happens to him in the movie, showing that on the back. But I would have thought that his name would have been front and center. He was on like the last Tremors movie, which was awful, unwatchable to me. I'm, you know, whatever. But he was front and center on that, and he's not front and center on here. He's like really the only well-known person in this movie. And I will say this, I was actually enjoying this movie up until a point, and then it just it went off the deep end. I thought it had some merit, and then the effects weren't very good, and it just went. The acting wasn't very good. But there was a point where I was like, okay, this is working, and then it just went off the deep end, and it reminded me a lot of Blood Beach. Blood Beach is one that I think deserves an official release. So it has Pauly. Blood Beach has Pauly from the Rocky movies in there. A few other recognizable people in that one too. But Blood Beach was a really good sand movie. Kind of reminded me a bit of Tremors, in fact, too, where there's a creature underneath the sand on the beach killing people and sucking people down and trying to figure out who it is, what it is essentially. But yeah, The Sand. Didn't really enjoy this one. I remember liking it when it first started out and then just fell off. And then next up is A Puppy for Christmas. I guess this girl gets a puppy, and she loses her boyfriend, her apartment, and her job, and she spends the holidays on a family farm with a rugged coworker. And I guess there's a budding romance, and then I guess the other maybe boyfriend comes back, and she has to make a decision, and there's a puppy. Why not? It sounds like all the formula right there for a happy Christmas movie. You know, everybody loves puppies, right? So there's a cute little ragamuffin puppy right there. Next up is Bombshell Bloodbath, which this is like one of the shortest synopsises for a film that I've ever seen on the back here. When exposed to her father's experimental attempts to reanimate his wife, Kara must find a way to protect her family's secret while slowly slipping into the world of the living dead. Some of it looks pretty creepy on the back. So, yeah, there we go. A Bombshell Bloodbath looks crazy and ridiculous. It says gory, gooey, goofy, fun, and absolute blast. So I guess it's going to be horror comedy with lots of bloody, gooey ooziness going on there. Again, I like low-budget horror. I like gross, gory stuff. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out. Kind of like street trash-esque, maybe. We'll see. But there you go. Those were the 17 pickups for $50, so a little less than $3 a pop. I think it's a pretty awesome deal. Let me know what you think of the deal. Let me know if you've seen the movies and what you think of them, because there's a few in here that I haven't seen. And let me know what your favorite pickup from this lot is. Leave me a comment or video response down below. Hope everyone's doing well. Take care. And oh, I do want to say too, a lot of times when I buy these lots, it's like people that are selling them in a lot. I've bought a bunch from this person in the past, so it's not like I can pick and choose. Because a lot of these ones I wouldn't, you know, personally paid, because I've seen some of them and I hated some of them. So yeah, I mean, they put it in a lot. They put the price on it themselves. And I'm not going to be like, hey, let me take this out. And I mean, it's already pretty cheap as it is. So I just usually, if they put it in the lot and they put the price tag on it, I'm like, all right, let's go do it. So that's why I have some of the movies in here, like I've talked about, that I didn't enjoy. So that's the reasoning. They put it in a lot. They put the price on it. And I'm just like, you know, I'm not going to, you know, squabble and, you know, pick and choose or anything like that. They're already dirt cheap as it is. So there you go. That's why. Take care.